Hi guys, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel. Sorry that I missed a day last week. It's been a struggle, which I know I've said before, but it's been kind of a struggle for me, mostly in the sleeping area. I haven't been sleeping very well. Lately it's been either I run off of at least 2.5 hours of sleep or none. So it's been kind of rough, and finding the motivation to make a video is just not there. This week hasn't really been any better, but I wanted to make a video anyway despite how tired I am. So yeah, anyway, I digress. Welcome back to my channel. I am Kat. If you don't know me, though, as I said, I am Kat, and here I like to do just a lot of random shit on this channel. There's no construction. There's no construction. Is that right? It's not constructed. I don't do anything specific. I just kind of do what I find interesting and hope that someone else finds it interesting, to trying to fall in suit of Jenna Marbles and Graveyard Girl and just kind of do that. But this video today is going to be another installment to a little series that I do, which is State Urban Legends, and today we're going to be talking about California. So the very first legend that we're going to be talking about is the Monster of Elizabeth Lake. So I say this in every video, but every urban legend is very similar to the game Telephone. So if you've never played Telephone, basically what it is one person says a sentence, and then they tell you, and then it goes down the line, and then by the time it comes back to the original person, it's not what they said. So it's kind of the same thing with urban legends. So the legends that I found and that I'm going to talk about might be different than the ones that you know, and I love to hear different versions. Also, whenever I write them down, I write them in a notebook, so that way I don't forget information or say something wrong or anything like that. So if I pull it up or look down, it's because I'm trying to remember everything. Typically I'm a lot better at remembering the things that I write down, but since I haven't been sleeping, it's a lot harder. But anyway, so the first legend we are going to talk about is the legend of the Monster of Elizabeth Lake. I have a notebook here with stuff I'm going to talk about so I don't accidentally forget, but every state has a lake monster. As I said, every state that has a lake monster, just like every state that has any semblance of a forest or a wooded area or at all anything has like a Yeti creature to cobra kind of thing going on. Also, before I start, urban legends are a lot like the game Telephone. So basically the way it works is one person says something and they tell another person, and then that person tells another person, and then by the time it comes back to the original storyteller, it's completely different. So the legends that I look up might be different than the ones that you know, but it doesn't mean they're wrong, and it's really fun to learn about the other versions. So anyway, so the legend basically follows and says that several locations of Elizabeth Lake actually carry an evil presence just below the water's surface. It's outside Lancaster, LA, and people say that it was created by Satan himself to house his hell beasts, so that he could have a little place to hold his little pets. Legend also says that the legend also says, since it was created by Satan, that if you swim deep enough, you can actually find one of the gates of hell, which is fascinating to think about. Like, first of all, whenever I think about gates of hell, I think about Supernatural and then the gates of hell there, and then it just goes on a tangent. But I just find it interesting because there's a whole other world when it comes to underwater. Like, the ocean is terrifying. Some lakes are super, super deep. So it's like, I'm not saying that it could be true. I'm just saying that it's an interesting thought. So in the 1800s, there was a supposed monster sighting in the lake. So basically, it was described to have the neck of a giraffe, the head of a bulldog, bat wings, and it was said to be 50 feet long and to smell of rot and decay. So whenever people say, oh, it's this long or it's this big, that confuses me because how do you know that? Like, I'm sure you can look at something and gauge, be like, oh yeah, that's totally 50 feet. But at the same time, it's like, how do you know? Did you measure? Because like in so many of the legends, when I talk about like Bigfoots, they say it was like 600 tons. And it's like, how do you know that? Like, who are you to pass judgment on the size of it? You know? But, that it was 50 feet long and smelled of rot and decay. And then a lot of sightings have occurred over the centuries. A lot of people have said that they've seen this creature. And actually landowners that own the land that are surrounded by the lake have actually like abandoned homes because of seeing this creature, and because a lot of people don't want to live there because of this legend, because it was a terrifying monster. People have said that at night you can hear like a shrieking sound coming from the lake. And there are two speculations. So there were people that were trying to go out and catch the monster. And there's one version that says that they did catch the monster and that they killed it. But then there's another version that says that they never did. But there is no actual proof of a creature living underneath the surface of the water. But as I said, some lakes are extremely deep. And if this creature has been living in this lake for forever, it would know how to elude humans. So, and as I've said, it's really hard for me to believe that these stories don't come from some kind of originality. I mean, it is kind of weird to think of a creature that has a giraffe neck, a bulldog head, and bat wings. You know, that's an interesting drawing that I'd really love to see, and I could probably Google it. But at the same time, someone must have seen something. Whether it would have been at night, imagination, maybe you did shrooms, maybe you were drunk, I don't know. But it's really hard for me to believe that it couldn't be real. And because there's a lot of aquatic and just creatures that we're still discovering today. So who's to say that there isn't a monster at the end of this lake? And, you know, it's very similar to Nessie. Like, you know, a lot of people have seen this big animal and believe that the Loch Ness monster is real. But if these monsters or creatures have lived as long as a lot of people speculate, because this started in the 1880s, so this creature has to be old, or it's having babies, I don't know. It would know how to elude us stupid creatures, because we're stupid and we like to try to hunt them down and not just leave them alone. This second urban legend I found really, really, really interesting because one, it's kind of creepy, which I'm all about, obviously, but also it has a lot of branches. And by that I mean this is an urban legend that has several different versions of it that make it interesting and could potentially be real. So this is the urban legend of the Charman. So the Charman is actually one of the most popular urban legends in California because it's got so many, it's a thick story. It's got so much going on. So there's like several ghost stories that actually surround and haunt the bridge that crosses into over San Antonio Creek, and I can never say this right. OJ, I'm probably saying that wrong. OJ, California. But of course, like the most interesting is the Charman. Of course, with any bridge, Golden Gate Bridge has so many ghost stories, which makes sense because it is a hotspot for people who like to jump off of it. So and I'm sure when people were building it, a lot of people got injured. So bridges are one of the hotspots when it comes to ghostly activity. So yeah, you've got the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's like supposed to be a white lady there. You've got Bunny Bridge, where there was the Bunny Man, which I talked about. You've got a lot of bridges, so I'm not surprised. But basically, as the legend goes, the ghost story, it describes a man that is covered, is just grotesquely burned, that he's got burned, peeling skin, and he's got blackened charred bandages covering him, and that he smells of like burnt flesh, basically. He's just burned beyond recognition. And that if you go to this bridge and you go get out of your car and yell, "Help me," he'll attack you and he'll kill you, or you'll get hurt. It didn't really emphasize if he'll kill you, but I'm assuming so, because like, why else would he? So as I said, there's a lot of stories that are attached to this Charman legend. There's actually 2 in 1948. So one of the stories is that there was this big fire in the valley in OJ, California. It was a brush fire, and one of the stories follows a couple, a man and a woman, that got stuck in the fire, and the husband got really injured and he couldn't get to his wife, and all he could hear before she died was her screaming, "Help me, help me, help me," over and over again, but he couldn't get to her because he was too injured. And so his spirit, or this man who just lives in the forest, lost his mind, went insane because of the injuries and because of listening to his wife die. And so now, whenever someone yells, "Help me," it's like he gets a flashback and he wants to kill them because he's had a mental break. The second story follows a father and a son, which is, it's very similar to the story that the father, like, they got stuck in the brush fire. The father tried to get to their son and he couldn't get to him. His son died. The father got burned beyond recognition. And they're basically like the same story. And that he went insane. Oh no, it's the son that got hurt and he went insane due to his father's death and became the Charman. Another story that comes with that brush fire is also that it was a firefighter who was trying to put the brush fire out, but got injured really, really, really bad, and then died and became the Charman. So there's some interesting stories. There's no specific who the Charman is. And actually, according to, I can't remember the name, the Ventura County Historical Museum, there were no victims in the 1948 brush fire. According to them, nobody got caught in the fire. They didn't find any bodies. That doesn't mean it didn't happen, because someone could have gotten extremely burned or extremely hurt and was hiding out, and nobody could have known. Granted, fire has to be real hot to completely render the body to ash. So if someone would just say went insane and decided to live in the forest, there's a chance that they just lived there and nobody knew about it. Another story that is attached to the Charman legend is that it was just a guy who got in an automobile accident on the bridge, that his car burst in flames, he was badly burned and injured, ran into the forest, was never seen again, probably had a psychotic break or died, and then became the Charman, which would explain why if a motorist says "help me," he gets pissed off. So there's also no proof of this legend. As I said, that historical museum has no proof of people, they have no proof of people that died in the 1948 fire, and there's no proof of that person that died in the car accident. But what's really funny is, as I said, this legend is extremely popular. It's actually so popular that a man named Chris Sutton actually created a hot sauce called Charman's Revenge Habanero Pepper Sauce. And it's made by Highway 33 Foods, and its tagline is "Just beware with 5 fire-roasted habanero peppers in every bottle, Charman's Revenge may become reality." So that is how popular this legend is, and the legend goes deeper. There's a lot more branches that come off of this legend of people theorizing what this spirit is, who this is, what happened, and you never know what could potentially happen. It does make me curious to see if it actually happens. If you go and you say that on the bridge, if you actually will get attacked, or maybe if you just get a really bad omen or bad karma or something like that, which is entirely possible, then I don't know, maybe that does happen. All of these legends make me curious as to if they will actually happen or if it's just a legend. But again, I'm also kind of a wimp and I don't want to toy with things that I don't understand. So it's just a little too dangerous for me, even though my curiosity does peak, but curiosity killed the cat, so it's probably just a lot better if I don't. So there you go. Those are 2 state urban legends about California. There are so many more, but these were the ones that stuck out to me the most, and really the Charman one was a bit longer, and I didn't want the video to be so long, even though I could probably talk about urban legends for hours. I just find them really, really, really interesting, and just, I don't know, I just live for the spooky, but I also live for the history, because to me, an urban legend is a part of the history of the state. So it's really interesting and really fun for me. I really also just love doing research and looking stuff up and writing it down and stuff like that. I'm a big nerd. I just really love that kind of thing. It's just one of my jams. But thank you for joining me in this video, and if you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It was extremely unorganized, and my memory, I have the memory of a guppy, so I kept looking at my notebook, and I apologize for that. And if you know of any urban legends, whether it be this state or any other state, I would love to hear about it, because I love them. It's so fun. It's such a fun form of storytelling that I just really, really enjoy. So please let me know. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I post. I do try to post every Monday. I occasionally flop on that, but I do try to post every single Monday. So yeah, and as I said in the beginning, I don't have any structure here. I just make videos and do what I'm interested in and hope that someone is also interested. But if there's something that you'd like me to try or do, let me know, and I could probably give that a shot. Currently, I am, well, not currently, because it's not happening yet, but for those of you that this affects, which is us lady people, I bought the Clio box, which is a period subscription box, and I'm going to be doing basically a cycle long use of this to see if it does make everything more comfortable, but we'll see, so you can look forward to that. But yeah, again, thank you for joining this video. I'm going to take a shower, take off my makeup. I'm probably going to eat my sandwiches first, and then clean up a little bit and go to bed. I should probably just go to bed, to be honest. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, but this is my time to shine. This is when I thrive. So yeah, thank you again, and I hope that you have a wonderful day and a beautiful night. And this is Kat signing off. Bye. I don't do one video for a week and then I forget how to do it. It doesn't make sense. Also, you can see the reflection of my ring light in my glasses. Yeah, don't know if it made lighting better, but what can you do?